Shalom. I'd like to give all undergoing praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Like get double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to our sister Akim, pushing his word across the four corners of the world. And this is the book of Revelation 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Heavenly Father Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. And that's the times that we are in when you're seeing biblical prophecies coming to pass, because the word prophecy means to say something before it actually occurs. And let's link that up with the book of 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, starting at verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. And according to the book of Luke, the first chapter, the Most High said he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets. Verse 2, and caused them to be written in paper via the Holy Scriptures, the Holy Bible, for they are faithful and true. Meaning that everything that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has put his spirit upon his holy prophets in the days of old, everything is coming to pass in today's time. And this is an article from nationalnews.com, and it just came out today as of December the 8th, 2021. It says U.S. set to lose next war against China, Russian hypersonic missiles, Pentagon said to be several years behind both countries. And it's two main biblical prophecies that we are waiting upon as the hopeful elect. One being the Quran being implemented, mentioned in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, and also World War III, which leads me to the book of Revelation, 11th chapter, in the 14th verse. The second woe is past, meaning World War II, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. And that's referring to World War III. This is going to be a time where you're seeing nuclear missiles being brought upon the stage on higher levels. More technology is being added upon these nuclear missiles, which is also a part of biblical prophecies. And that's why these other countries are investing into hypersonic missiles, which is another step above ballistic missiles. And it says, if Russia President Vladimir Putin decides to send in his 100,000 or so troops massed on the border of Ukraine at any point in the near future, following his video chat with our feeble, hapless leader Joe Biden earlier this week, there won't be much the U.S. or even NATO can do about it. For one, there is no political will in Europe to fight a third world war in a century, especially with a massive nuclear-armed enemy. For another, the United States, as advanced as our military is, lacks a key weapon that Russia is said to have: nuclear-armed hypersonic missiles that can travel 5 to 7 times the speed of sound. Oh, and ditto for China, should Beijing decide to launch an attack on Taiwan to reunify the island democracy with the mainland. Never mind that the Chinese nationalists escaped their post-World War II to form their own country after losing a civil war to the communists. And it says Bloomberg News reports, they are so fast, their speed can change the surrounding air molecules. They can carry a nuclear warhead, fly low, and be hard to detect. Hypersonic weapons are at the center of escalating competition between the U.S. and China. In an appearance on Bloomberg TV, October the 27th, General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, likened China's suspected test of a hypersonic weapons system this summer to a Sputnik moment, a reference to the Soviet Union's pioneering launch of a satellite in 1957, giving it an early lead in the space race and shocking the U.S. The U.S. and Israel are believed to have the world's most advanced missile defense systems, but they are not nimble or fast enough to pick off hypersonic weapons, so our national security is definitely at risk. Unlike ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons don't follow a predetermined arch trajectory and can maneuver on the way to their destination, according to the Congressional Research Service. Bloomberg adds, the term hypersonic describes any speed faster than 5 times that of sound, which is roughly 760 miles, 1,220 kilometers per hour at sea level, meaning these weapons can travel at least 3,800 miles per hour. Hypersonic weapons come in the form of glide vehicles and cruise missiles, and thus far, most of the focus is on the former. They are launched from a rocket before they then glide to their target. These are easier to build for hypersonic speeds than missiles, which are equipped with engines called scramjets. They utilize oxygen from the air to give them thrust during flight, which allows for steady cruise altitudes and speeds. China, the US, and Russia have the most advanced capabilities, and several other countries are investigating the technology, including India, Japan, Australia, France, Germany, and North Korea, which claims to have tested a hypersonic missile, Bloomberg News report. And that's a spirit of prophecy right there alone, pursuant to the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge should be increased. So that's why we're seeing in today's times that these other nations are increasing their nuclear capabilities, constantly putting more money, more time, and more effort into their nuclear weapons, going from ballistic missiles to hypersonic missiles. And all of this is spiritually designed by Yahweh Bashim Abshai to put the spirit upon these other countries' leaders to get them to go into the time of World War III. So the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, are the ultimate chess players. And they are moving to pieces with these other countries' leaders to fulfill their will and purpose. The Most High Yahweh stated in Isaiah the 46th chapter, "My counsel shall stand, I will do all my pleasure." And part of that pleasure is fulfilling his word, which is biblical prophecy. And that leads me to the book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter, starting at verse 1. And it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim Abushai. As a rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." So it's all about the will, the counsel, the purpose of Yahweh Bashim Abushai. This is part of the work of the hands of the potter. He molds the clay however he wants to see fit. And that particular clay is going to fulfill his purpose. As it says, who can resist his will? So he turneth it whithersoever he will. And that's very spiritual and prophetic that we are constantly seeing Russia and the US always in the news, which Russia is considered the bear and America being the eagle. And that leads me to the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, starting at verse 1. "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, which is Russia, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against it." Verse 3, "And say, Thus said the Lord power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal." And here's the point, verse 4, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws," meaning that the Heavenly Father Yahweh, he's going to turn back Russia to be allied right along with the Soviet Union, or the USSR, which is called the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics. And altogether, it was about 15 republics. You had Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Belarus, Armenia, and many more other republic countries. So he's going to put those hooks into thy jaws, and they're going to reform that USSR. "And I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Which leads me to the book of Joel 3 and 9. "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." And this war that Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah is preparing for these other nations is going to World War III. The second war is past, behold, the third woe coming quickly. Verse 10, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, which are gardening tools. Let the weak say, I am strong." So that's why you're hearing about Libya, Pakistan, India, North Korea having nuclear capability. Let the weak say, I am strong. So that's the spirit of prophecy. Verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh." Verse 12, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat," which in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, meaning the Heavenly Father's judgment. And this is all about the controversy of Zion. He's going to judge all these nations that had their hands into the downfall of the Israelites. He's going to judge them by bringing them to the so-called Middle East, and that's where they're going to fight it. So let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Verse 13, "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh Bashim Abishai is near in the valley of decision." Which leads right back to this article. That's why we're hearing about rumors of wars, nuclear war talk. U.S. set to lose war against China. Russia hypersonic missiles, Pentagon said to be several years behind both countries. And that's why you're constantly seeing all these different countries' leaders are boasting about their nuclear capabilities. And that leads me to the book of Isaiah 13 and 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. So the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, he's going to be like the overseer. He's going to appoint all these other nations, and he's going to bring them to the so-called Middle East, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. And that's when he's going to judge all of them. Because all these nations are going to go against one another, and that's when they're going to stop, and they're going to see Yahweh Shai coming back wax strong with the thousands of heaven, and they're going to try to fight Yahweh Shai along with the angels. So the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. And this is going to World War III. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. Verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And those arrows or those weapons that's going to be shot from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth is going to those nuclear missiles. Pursuant to Isaiah the 54th chapter, the Most High bringing forth an instrument for his work. He created the waster to destroy. It's going to destroy the whole land of America, known as Babylon the Great. In the book of Jeremiah, the 49th chapter and 13th verse, it says that Basra should become a desolation. Basra is a spiritual code name for America. So he's going to destroy the whole land mass of America. Thus say Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And last but not least, this is the book of Luke 21 verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, referring to biblical prophecies, those tokens, which are those miraculous signs and indications, which are full evidence or proof that the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai are faithful and true. So that's why Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai are constantly speeding the days up, as it says that no flesh shall be saved. So that's why they are spiritually programming their vessel dishonor, Esau Edom, to urge in this NWO, this global transformation. That's why we're seeing in today's news about human brain chips, linking up with Revelation the 13th chapter. So the implementation of the Karabma and also World War III are the two main biblical prophecies that we are waiting upon. So to us as the hopeful elect, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh, meaning our rescue aid, and that's by our big brother Yahweh Shai. It's stated in the book of Malachi, when he comes, he's going to come with healing in his wings. So Abaratazat, we are waiting upon Yahweh Shai along with the angels, so we can get beamed up in those glorious chariots. And we can get the hell up out this hellhole. And all this is going to be like a bad nightmare once we make into the kingdom of heaven. Abaratazat. So it's comforting to see through the spirit when these type of news articles or this type of information being brought upon mainstream media. U.S. set to lose next war against China, Russia hypersonic missiles, Pentagon said to be several years behind both countries. So the spirit of prophecy, which equals the spirit of Yahweh Shai, and we as the hopeful elect, we do have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. So that's reminders and indicators to us as the hopeful elect when these things are coming to pass. Hey, continue to hold on. Keep the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai until death. So I brought this out. You always edify. You always stay strong. Keep pushing forward. Shalom.